What's up, everybody? So, my plan with all of this Corona stuff that's been going on is I'm stuck inside right now. So I kind of thought maybe I should start doing a little bit of vlogging, maybe, the rounds that I play, maybe future tournaments, hopefully if the tournament scene kicks back up here at the end of April. But for now, I'll show you some field work that I do, and all that, if I'm allowed to be out of my house after this weekend. But for now, what I can do is I will show you what's in the bag for the 2020 season. I've done a lot of work getting it to where I want it to be. I feel like it's pretty solid where I like it. Now I just need to improve my game. But yeah, so for the 2020 season, I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I got in the bag currently. So starting out here, I got the grip bag, the newer A series. Super solid bag, comes with a pretty good Rainfly. The Rainfly works really well. The bag itself is super sturdy. I throw this thing around, I treat it really poorly. I got some cool zipper pulls here made by Lisa Phillips. Also, I got really cool birdie beads made by her. We got some Lego heads here. We got some like good mood faces, some smiley faces and cool faces and whatnot, and then we got the zombies and pissed off ones for all the bogeys, and unfortunately these get used more than those ones do. But besides that, the bag itself pretty solid. Like I said, the bottom's really good, the back support's really good, the shoulder straps are good. The brand new ones that just came out though, they're a little bit more sturdy in the back and on the shoulder straps, and then on the side it comes with a little umbrella holder, which is super convenient. But yeah, so this bag's 1.5 years, almost 2 years old, and it's super solid. It's held up. You can see still pretty bright. No major, I haven't washed it once. I have not once thrown this in the washer. I guess the only time it does get washed is when it gets rained on. If I know my Rainfly, which I usually do. But all right, let's start with what I got in here. So I'm gonna start off with my putting putters. So I got 2 of them in here in my bag. I putt with the First Run P-Line Eagle McMahon P2s. These are not the Glow P2s, these are just normal P-Line P2s. Both max weight. They're the 2-ring, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, the 2-ring P2s, which are an older run. These things are super solid. I have been putting with them for a long time. They've done me really good. I like them a lot. They got a really nice feel on them. There's no bead on them. I really like P2s in this run specifically. They started out really slippery and really hard, but now they're pretty grippy and beat in now, and they work really good. And then this is one that I bought 3 years ago. It's a golf ball white one with the purple shatter stamp on it. Oh, there's my sleeping dog, by the way. Yeah, anyways, I use this for a lot of my upshots. This is my throwing putter. I don't ever throw my putting putters, just something that I do. This one is a lot more beat up than my actual putters because this one's a year older, I believe, and I started this one out as a putting putter, and then I ended up getting 6 of these ones, so I have more of them stashed away. But these are, I use this for all my upshots. I use this for like a little fan grip if I'm like need to do a spin putt of some sort, because I'm a push putter, and if there's situations low ceiling or something like that where I gotta get some spin on it, I use this. And I also use this for some longer jump putts or some elevated putts if I'm putting up a hill, because this one's super beat up, so it feels more glidey to me. Once again, 920 rated AM. Probably doesn't make a difference, but in my mind it does. So I'm gonna go to one of my favorite molds that has ever been created. I've been playing for 5 years, so I don't know a lot of molds, but the Innova Rat. This is my favorite mold ever. Anybody who knows me, I will push a rat on them if they want to play it or use it. So this one is just a basic Star Rat 175. It's super beat up. It's not overstable at all. I can throw this on any line that I want, and my favorite thing to do with it is just to throw it nice and hard and flat and straight, and it'll usually get a little bit of turnover. This never flips. It doesn't straight out of my hand. I can throw it and it won't like roll over. I can force this over. This holds whatever line I want it to, hyzer, whatever, you know. The Star Rat, I highly recommend it. These things are amazing. You want to look at the profile of it there. You can see it's pretty flat there. Really shallow rim too, which is one thing that I really like about it for my grip. It feels really good in the hand. I love the Rat. And then this is just a Twin Rivers Open Glow Rat, Color Glow Rat. These feel exactly the same. They're a little bit domier than the Star ones, but these things are nice and stable. I really, really like it. I wouldn't compare it to like an AVR X3 or something like that. This isn't quite as overstable, but I have a different disc in my bag for something like that. So once again, if you're looking for a really good approach disc, really, really solid, the Glow Champion Rat, they're harder to find, but these are good. They hold up in the wind and everything. And then the normal Star Rat, they're everywhere. You can find them all over the place. Highly, highly recommend it. So moving on here, I use a D-Line MD. This is a very, 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 very underrated disc. This is super cheap. They're like $8 online, you know, because it's a D-Line or DX plastic. They're super, super cheap, but the one thing I love about this thing is these are hyzer flip turnover for days. If you need anything to hyzer flip and go straight, flip up and go flat for about 200 feet and then start turning over, you seriously need a D-Line MD. These things are amazing. The very first time I threw it, I used a bag of Mako 3, and a lot of times at the very end of the flight, the Mako 3 would tail off to the left a little bit, you know, and this D-Line MD does the same exact thing, but does not tail off. People that know me, I call this my cheat code, because this does not go to the left. Like, I can throw it on a super steep solid hyzer and it'll just flip up and ride flat, or if I put a lot of juice behind it, it'll flip up and turn over. These things glide for days. Max weight, 180 grams. You know, this thing is super solid disc. These are one of the most underrated discs on the planet. So once again, the D-Line MD, you guys need to get them. So moving on, I have another mold that I like a lot, the MD3. I have an old run, the 5502, not the super sought after one. Eagle McMahon Claw MD3. This has been in the bag for a really long time and it's still stable for me. I can hammer on it hard and flat and it doesn't roll over. I can make it turn over and it doesn't super turn over really hard. You know, a lot of the discs in my bag are going to be doing about the same thing, but it just different distances for me. The Claw MD3, these things are sweet. They glow super good. I'm not a glow golfer, but probably my favorite plastic out there is a Discmania glow plastic. It feels super, super stiff in the hand. It's really tacky. It's really, really grippy. I love it a lot. This is one of my favorite molds ever, the Glow MD3. I got an Iron Samurai, which is a Metal Flake Glow MD3. This is Eagle's newest run. This is not as stable as this one, but it's not understable. This one has a little bit more glide to it, and I can just push this one out a little bit further than my Glow MD or my Claw MD3. The Iron Samurai doesn't come out that much of the bag, but this one definitely comes out every single round I play. I can guarantee I'm throwing this thing off the tee somewhere. And then the step up from that is I'm using a Shadow Titan. This is a, what's it called? Forged Method. I believe the flight numbers on this is 5502 or 5503, something along the lines of that. It's a pretty overstable mid-range for me. I really, really like this thing. I can hammer this thing hard and flat and know that it's going to have a reliable finish. This is definitely more stable than the MD3s. This is compared to an MD4, maybe a little bit more stable than an MD4. This is 177 grams. It's super reliable for me. I use this in windy situations. I use it, you know, whenever I need something to go 250 feet to the left, maybe, you know, 250 to 280. Yeah, the Shadow Titan, they're super nice. I highly recommend it. That plastic feels amazing. This Forged Method plastic, it feels it's super stiff in the hand. It's got a lot of grip to it. It almost feels like a brand new glow plastic, but they don't glow. And I mean, just look at how pretty that thing is. That thing is gorgeous right there, you know. So I'm gonna highly recommend this disc as well. And then my last mid-range in the bag, I have a double stamp mystery box Metal Flake MD5 here. These things have a really big bead on it. This is definitely a utility disc. This is mainly all that I use. I only use it for flicks usually. I have recently been working on a forehand and it's been coming together quite quite well personally. This one's super sweet. You know, it's got a little bit of dome to it, which I used to throw gators a lot, but I've been trying more and more to switch over to a lot more Discmania molds. So I got an MD5. I really like this run. This run is it's really overstable. You can use it for backhands, which I don't really use it for backhands because that's what I got the Shadow Titan for. This one just doesn't quite push out as far as I need it to. No glide backhand, no glide at all. These things are super overstable backhand for me. But like I said, definite utility disc, get out of trouble. I use it off the tee, I use it for upshots. Yeah, mainly a forehand disc. Alright, so now we're going to get to a run or a mold that I am a huge fan of. I have 5 in my bag, and it's the FD, the fairway driver. It's a 7-speed fairway driver, kind of like a Leopard. The FD, like I said, I have 5 of them in the bag. They all do different things. This is an amazing mold. I love them a lot. So let's get into it. So shout out to Jamie Moore. He gave me this. This is a P-Line FD. It's really flippy. This thing beats in a lot. It's pretty new to the bag still. I haven't been throwing it that much, but I really have been throwing it, trying to beat it in because I want this to eventually be my roller disc. And then next up in stability is I got a nice little C-Line Metal Flake Boom Oil Slick Boom Stamp one. This one is one that I can throw turnover, and I know that it won't come back. This one's the second flippiest one that I have. Yeah, it's just really reliable. I know that if I need something to turn over, I know that this is going to get the job done. And then this is my bread and butter one. This is just a simple S-Line FD, the 175. I mainly throw all max weight. All 5 of these are all max weight, 175. This one though, I can manipulate. I can put on any line and it'll hold it. I want it to turn over, it'll turn over. If I want it to flex, I can get a flex out of it. If I want to hyzer flip it to flat, I can do that. This one pretty much does anything that I need it to. It's just really reliable. I really like this one. And then the next up in stability is I have a Night Strike 2. These things are an amazing run. I highly recommend, if you guys are looking for a really good fairway driver, go pick up a Night Strike 2 right out of the box. These are a little bit overstable for someone with my arm speed, but this has been in the bag for about a year and a half now, and it's really sweet. I love it. I can throw it hard and flat, pop up on a hyzer flip, and this always has a reliable finish to the left. I can get a really nice flex line out of it if I want to. But yeah, the Night Strike 2, shout out to Nate Perkins. Everybody go support him. Then last one here. This is just a basic swirly S-Line FD right here. You can kind of see it's got a ghost stamp on it right there. Yep, there it is right there. That's called Grateful Disc stamp. Shout out to Dean Phillips. He got me this for Christmas. This is one of my, this is a really good one. He knows I love FDs, and this was a super easy grab for him. This one, I'm beating up, just getting it to be right where I want. It's fairly new to the bag, still about since Christmas, obviously. This is the more overstable one though, in my bag. I can get this one to get really good S-lines out of it, or I can just throw it super hard and flat knowing that it's not gonna flip over and it'll definitely go left. So like I said, I got 5 FDs, all of them complement each other, all of them are a little bit different in stability, and I highly recommend it, man. An FD is an amazing mold. So I got two more fairway drivers. I got a Big Germ Thunderbird in the bag. Always need one of these. These things are very reliable. They're really overstable, and you can hammer on these things and not worry about them flipping. They feel super nice in the bag. I really like Thunderbirds. I always have. Yeah, not much to say about these. These are just, they do what they need to, which is go left for me. So, and then next up, I got a 2020 Sexton Glow Firebird. These things are a really good run. They feel super good to me. I only forehand this one. This one is only on forehands. I don't really throw it backhand because, I mean, the Thunderbird kind of does that, what I need out of this, you know. If I need to throw a backhand and have a really reliable finish, stable finish in a headwind, I might throw this, but I haven't ran into that situation yet. I mean, there's not much that I don't have to brag about this disc. You know, the Sexton Firebirds are probably one of the most popular molds out there ever since they started coming out in 2015. The 2020 run, they're not super flat. They're a little flat. They're not you know, flat as can be. The 2018s, I believe, were probably the flattest runs. But yeah, these things are super sweet, so go sport them. So now I got one more. PD. Colt, shout out to Colt Montgomery. This Lone Howl PD. I used to bag a PD, an S-Line PD, a long time ago, and it was really, really overstable for me. It kind of turned me off of PDs because it kind of did what like my Big Germ Thunderbird or a Firebird would do. But I won 2 of these online, the Lone Howl Colt Montgomery Swirly Tour Series ones, and these things are amazing. This is a completely different run. I don't know how many different runs of PDs, but this one I really, really like. It's really, really straight. I can really crank over on it and know that it'll hold super straight, get a little bit of flight, but it'll always dump out to the left. This is basically what a long Firebird does, a long Big Germ Thunderbird. These are a 10 speed, so they fit super good in the hand for me. You know, the rim's not super deep or super wide, so like a 10 speed driver fits really good in my hand. I like it a lot. Personally, I wish there was more 10 speed drivers out there that, you know, could work into the bag, but yeah, these things are super reliable. I use it for flicks too. I flick this one for a little bit of longer ones. The Firebird, I can't really stretch that out too far, so I will flick the Lone Howl if I need to, and then we move on up. So I got 3 destroyers in the bag. All do different things. So I'm gonna start with this one. This is a blue Swirly 2-line AJ Destroyer, the max weight 175. I got this in a CTP. This was a prize that I won in a CTP, and anybody knows this is a really, really hard disc to find for super cheap, and I got it for free, which is sweet. So this is really flippy though. This is a super flippy destroyer. I can really crank this out hard and flat and have it turn over. I can throw it, hyzer flip it, you know, really manipulate. This is a tailwind bomber for me because, you know, it's pretty flippy, so I can throw it hard and flat and have it stand up and ride in the wind or whatever, you know. I use this for a lot of my flick rollers. It works really good for me. And then my go-to distance driver right here. This is my baby. This is my 3-line AJ Destroyer Super Pop Top. Hopefully you can hear that. Little heartbeat on it. It's only 166. This thing weighs 166 grams, but this thing bombs. This is by far my favorite driver. This is one of the first discs that I ever bought, and I still have it somehow. I have no idea how. This has been in the bag for like 4 years, 5 years probably, but this is my go-to distance driver. For anybody who knows me, I throw this thing all over the place. I use it for really, I mean, it's still stable. You know, it's my go-to destroyer. There's not much that I gotta say about it, you know. I use it backhands, I use it forehands. This thing is my favorite disc by far. And then one step up from that, I got a 172 Star Splatter destroyer here, mini Air Force stamp. This thing it's just a beautiful disc, you know, lots of splatters in it. But this run feels pretty, it's really stiff. It's a lot stiffer than my yellow one, which, I mean, that one's super old, but this is a really overstable one. I can use this in any windy situations that I need to hammer over on and make sure it goes to the left. I don't really flick this one. I usually just flick my yellow one or my PD if I need to stretch something out a little bit further than my Firebird. Yeah, just nice, another destroyer. And then last but not least, a brand new mold in my bag is the EchoStar DD3. These things are exactly what a noodle arm wished the Cloudbreaker was. So this feels a lot to me. It feels like a destroyer in the hand to me, which, I mean, it should, because they're the same exact numbers, the flight numbers, 12.5, neg 1.3. That's not pop top, but it's not flat, you know, it's not super domey. It feels really, really good in the hand. The EchoStar plastic is super grippy. It's pretty stiff too, which I like in my distance drivers. But straight out of the bag, or straight out of the box, excuse me, these things are amazing. They flip up. You know, I push out to about 400 feet max. These things they can hold right out of the box. They can hold whatever line you throw it on. You want it to turn over, you can get it to turn over. You want it to just ride super flat, you can get it to ride flat. The very first throw I threw at this was very surprising, actually. It flipped up to flat, had a little bit of turnover on it, and then finished just like I wished it would. And it was the very first throw that I had with it. So, you know, the EchoStar DD3, I highly recommend this mold to anybody. I heard it's a limited run, so if you find them or have them, get your hands on them, because these things are amazing. The run is good, you know, and they might not be producing anymore. So, but all right, that's it for my in the bag. That's all I got. That's hopefully what I'm using for the 2020 season. I feel like I've got my game dialed down pretty good. You know, I got my bag figured out. So hopefully, you know, all this coronavirus crap blows over and we can get back to holding tournaments and whatnot. So, yeah, I'll keep you guys posted. Look forward to doing maybe some more vlogs, some practice rounds, some tourneys, you know, hopefully. So, yeah, here we go.